Flex, the livest one in the section. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You will run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga, woof. I'm a 88 pack nigga, woof. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker, change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood, tryna stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. It's time to bleed this morning. Yup. You missed Monkey Tuesday. However, we're going to spin the block. As y'all know me, I have questions. So let's do this roll call because I want to get to it. Todd Swindle, Bernard Gilbert, the Sensei Stormy B-Man is in here with everything. Salute to you, good brother. G. McCall. Coach Hudson in the building, HMC, main biker, Stillwater Boxing MMA. Tay, good morning. Black Martial Arts Society. Lone Star, Son of Tank. Steve L. the Mac, Shaquilla Fields. House rules, like the video, hype the video, share the video. We are our own algorithm. Let's not leave it up to Miguel to do anything for us because he does nothing for us. Rashad Livingston, salute. Miguel will unsub you from our channels. Seen him do it. And when you contact YouTube, YouTube will tell you that that's organic. And it's not. It's not. If it was organic, they would allow you to see and notify you who subbed, who exactly subbed. And if you're running a business, you can actually email the person and say, well, you know, out of curiosity, why'd you sub? I want to become a better content creator. Why'd you unsub? But they don't want you contacting the people that subbed or unsubbed. And they don't consider that some of the people that do sub to you, you might actually know them. That's why sometimes you get on a friend's channel and say, hey man, how am I not subbed? I know I've been subbed to you. Oh, you was unsubbed. Wrench and everything. Yeah, that's what they do. So we are our own algorithm. We can do it ourselves. That's why when I say hype the video and share it, that's what I mean. It takes 2 seconds. You press on that little curved arrow. You go to where it says post and just say we outside. That's all. Mr. Big Play, salute. Kawhi Elliott, salute. I appreciate you, Kawhi, for real. Thank you. Super Mac time, my brother, salute. Eric O, Del Riv. Yeah, this is what they do. So let's get to it. Tell Big G, salute. Ortiz is speaking up. Ortiz, Oscar De La Hoya did a booty clap Thursday, when he's talking about how he's going to team up with Al Heyman to give him a lap dance. You know, whatever they got going on over there in the Elemental P community. MXC, salute. And they're going to try and get deals. Noah, salute. They're going to try and get deals with, I don't know. It didn't work out with Amazon, right? They're going to try and get a deal with Netflix. Something I heard. And salute to our brother Blue Blood Sports TV. Always hands-on with the information. And I'm listening to that, and I'm like, all right. J-Man, salute. And he's dangling the carrot in front of Eric Jordan. Salute. He's dangling the carrot in front of the hungry donkeys. You know, in the cartoon, when you got to make the donkey walk, you sit on it and you hold the carrot on a stick and a string to make him walk. You know, enigmatic son, salute. You know, and even when I was a kid, I'd watch that and I'd say, gotta be a dumbass animal, even if it was a cartoon. That'd be a dumb animal, right? You're walking, and that carrot's in front of your face and you're not getting it. At what point do you just stop and say, get off my back? I'm gonna go find my own food. Get off my back. I'm gonna go find my own food. What you mean? It's disgusting that Oscar De La Hoya could say this for our sniper salute. He could say this treacherous thing out loud. And to me, that was the news. That was the news. That was the news, 100%. He openly said that Ortiz has so many other options. Errol Spence in Dallas, Sebastian Fundora. He never said Keith Thurman. Robert Singleton, salute. You know, and told Eddie Hearn that he was begging for the Ortiz opportunity. I don't think Ortiz is a bigger star than Boots. I think Boots, as far as popularity is concerned, is a little more, you know, his star's a little brighter. Not to undermine Virgil Ortiz, not to undermine him, but the bottom line is that's the fight to make. Somebody's got the go. Virgil Ortiz, he has the goods. We've been saying that Boots has the goods for a few years now. Now, to me, this is a step-up fight. This is what we crave as supporters of the sport. Somebody's got the go and made a best man win. We all know what comes with this. If they sign a fight, you know, it's not going to be us. You heard what I say about Virgil. But you know, the race soldiers are going to come flying in here and try and hijack it with the Viva Mexico. Look, Virgil ain't into all of that. He's a damn good fighter, and we done put all of this on Boots' shoulders, and now this is his contemporary, man. What's going on? Now, as supporters of the sport, this is the right thing to do. And then here comes Oscar with his BS. Brothers UK in that super chat salute. He says, peace, Brother Drew. And official greetings for the new year. Health and strength to you and your family. Salute to you. Same to you, good brother. Thank you so much for your years of support, man. Thank you. I keep telling y'all, Brothers UK is probably my second or third sub. And he's been here ever since. Salute to you, good brother. I appreciate everything. Thank you so much. Thank you. Aaron Butler, salute. Tone, what up? What's going on? So the brilliant thing is Virgil's not opposed to it. Boots is not opposed to it. It's Oscar. Where are the videos dumping on him? The poet, salute, brother. I'm well. I hope you're doing well too. Where's the thousands of videos saying, come on, Oscar, that's not right? And you already know how I feel. Silence is co-signing. Silence is co-signing. Only in boxing will you have an admitted sexual deviant in Oscar De La Hoya, because that's what he is. And he's a certified weirdo on top of being a deviant, because he's doing these things while dressed like a woman. All right, he's running around with fake abs, admittedly doing drugs, came clean about it, and he's being treated like a woman. When a woman is caught doing something that she lied about, or she can't lie about, what do they say? At least I admitted it, as if that makes things better. What? No. Ain't elite. You couldn't deny it, man. You couldn't deny it. You don't get points for saying, at least I admitted it. At least I told the truth. That's like, there was a period of time where dudes was running around saying, man, I take care of all my kids. That's not a stroke. That's not a flex. You're supposed to. You made them, you idiot. So here you have Oscar. That's a real picture that I made move, by the way, but that's a real picture. He's cross-dressing. He's a sexual deviant. He's a drug addict. You wonder why. If I'm going to give Canelo Alvarez any kind of credit, it was him moving away from this guy. No man in his right mind would deal with Oscar De La Hoya. I asked this question a while ago, but it bears repeating. If you have a talented fighter, I don't care if it's your blood or not, if you're related to this fighter or not, would you even consider dealing with Golden Boy? And if you're black, it's a double-edged sword. First of all, I'm not putting my product in their career in the hands of an Oscar De La Hoya, because look at how he's moving right now. Number two, what is this fishnets with the hat and wigs on? What is that about? Why would you want to be around that? Now, if you're black, 88, what up? Now, if you're black, you remember those emails about Al Heyman calling him Black Hitler? That was a real thing. Never mind them throwing Fred out of the press conference when he's the only person that asked about that. But Bernard Hopkins is a part of that. So when you think Bernard Hopkins wouldn't come forth and say, oh, look, I work with Golden Boy, but I don't co-sign that. That's ridiculous. Michael Fleming, salute. And Bernard never said anything. So as a black fighter, would you go over there? Now, remove the black part. As a Mexican fighter, would you go over there? Because look at what he's doing to Ortiz right now. Montemusa, my brother, salute. Look what he's doing right now. You're not protecting. Yo, Virgil don't need your protection. He wants to smoke. Like Canelo said, I don't need your protection. Give me Lara. Shelton, what up? Give me Lara. Give it to me. I don't care. And Oscar tried his damnedest to prevent that. He tried. But you know what? Canelo proved in that moment? These guys work for the fighters, not the other way around. Like Barry Hearn said, we used to be slave drivers. Now I have to call him Mr. White. Isn't that a change? Like we was telling you for the 4 years Manny Pacquiao was ducking Floyd Mayweather. We said, no, Manny don't want the fight. Or he's just dumb. Bob Arum works for him. But there's something called matchmakers, and some of the best matchmakers so happen to work for Top Rank. Cameron Duncan co-signed that. Joe, what up? Hassan, what up? Cameron Duncan, he exposed that with the no black fighter list in the offices of Top Rank. You know, the same offices that were raided by the FBI, where Bob Arum had to sit on stand and admit that he fixed fights. Yeah, that place. What you have is a mess. Cobra Head, salute. What you have here is a mess. And shout out to Team Ortiz, because he's standing against that. Oscar's threatening to sue Virgil Ortiz's direct team. For what? Not listening to him? I don't know how the contract is structured, but does Oscar own Virgil Ortiz? Or can Virgil Ortiz say, no, he's stopping my progress? This is not the agreement. We agreed to If there's fights to be made, we're going to make them. What he's doing is he's trying to make me go in another direction for his financial gain because he has a personal beef with another goddamn promoter. But that's not how this works. He's stopping my money. And there's danger in that. Virgil might say, hey, man, my style is more compatible with Boots than Sebastian tall-ass Fundora. I don't want to fight Errol Spence. The man flipped his car. He comes back. He looked okay. Bud destroyed him. It'll make him a lot of money in Dallas, but I'll be the B-side financially going in, and Oscar's going to cake off. But then what if I go in there and fuck around and lose the Errol? You saw what he did to Danny Garcia after flipping his car? What if he's on point that night? Then it's him and Boots. I want to get Boots now. Errol has a loss. See, so right there. Are we talking about what's right, or are we talking about lining these managers' pockets, these promoters' pockets? So where are all the videos condemning Oscar De La Hoya's moves? Now, what I respect is, again, Virgil Ortiz, his team is speaking up. They said, F that, well, you know, not so many words, F that, F you, we're still going to negotiate with Boots and Eddie Hearn. Oscar's clapback is saying, I'm gonna sue your damn team. That's his clapback, right? Right. Now, it's LDBC or nothing. There's only a few first cousins out here that we frequent. You know, shout out to Champ Side and a few others. But where the videos condemning Oscar De La Hoya? There's not many. I mean, they're on code between these clowns being on code and the LMNOP community. They're not gonna throw Oscar under the bus. You know what I'm saying? Because that community sticks together, and I mean that. Rod Neal, salute. But you know what I'm upset with? I'm upset with Boots, man. I'm upset with Boots. And this is the part where I get on you knuckle draggers. And like clockwork, Franklin, this dude, James Franklin, comes in just when I'm about to talk about the coons. Franklin comes in. It's like God knows. God knows. I'm in here to talk about the lack of unity, the lack of self-awareness. You can't make this up. I'm just about to go over to the black side of things, and this dude, James Franklin, shows up. Yeah, Black Martial Arts Society. You know, I thought you don't sue in boxing. Where are those people at? Get it back in blood. Suing? You don't sue in boxing. Oscar's threatening to sue Virgil Ortiz. Virgil Ortiz could countersue. This is going to end up ugly. Sensei says, I keep saying, how much did Hearn and Matthew make off of Joshua's exhibition versus Jake Paul? It was 93, taxed him to death, dropped down to 43. I don't know what kind of deal, lifetime deal that Anthony Joshua has. First of all, it's tragic what the young man went through. And I know he wants to retire. But I don't think he's going to retire unless Master Hearn says so. So I do think AJ will take some rest and he'll be back in the ring. He ain't take no damage. But mentally, he might be damaged. And if he loses his next fight, they're going to blame it on the mental damage. I got my thoughts about that. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, man. Adewale, salute. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Let me say this. I'm glad he's okay. It's horrific what happened to him. Take some time to mentally heal. Physically, you're fine. Get your ass back in the ring if that's what your master telling you to do. You signed that deal. We didn't. As a matter of fact, we were against it. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember us saying, yo, a lifetime deal? What? This guy's gonna be fighting until he's 80. Why would you do that, AJ? Remember we was like, yo, what are you doing? Hold on. Why would you do that? Why'd you even re-sign with him? Remember when he could have signed with the PBC? Y'all remember all of this? Y'all remember we were saying, hey, man, at least you're a name. You can move and shake on your own. You remember that? That was us showing concern. We was like, why would you sign with the devil? Why would you do that? And watch this. Errol could have lost his life in that car accident. He was in the car. He was thrown from the car. I rock, salute. He was thrown from the car. All he did was knock his teeth out. He rested a bit, got in the ring. Oh, I'm missing a very important fact. When they found out he was intoxicated, they arrested him and pressed charges on him. Y'all forgot about that? No matter. Got in the ring with Danny Garcia and won. Remember that? Okay. AJ left there physically fine. And prayers up to the family to the people who lost their lives. I'm not making light of that. That was horrific. I saw the unedited video. It was horrific. But this is business, right? Does your landlord care about you having several deaths in your family and your boss ain't pay you your check? That's all bad. But I need my money to make this property run. And if you don't have it in 30 days, you got to go. It's business. And respectfully to your situation. So I don't know why these brothers keep doing this shit to themselves. Now, did anyone tell Boots, hey man, you see this thing with AJ? Why are you over there? I don't know why brothers keep going over the Top Rank. I don't know. Maybe they know something I don't. But to answer the sensei's question, we don't know. I know he left for 43, but the big question is, how much of that 43 did AJ see? It could have been $10 million, the way the contract is structured. I don't know. But if I have first of all, if I had 93 million and I get 43 million, I'm still mad. And then what if I got to break that 43 50-50 with this dude Eddie Hearn? I'm still mad. I'm a millionaire, but I'm still mad. The CD, what up? You understand? Eric Jordan, that super chat salute. He says Miguel Jerome, the machine, whole 100 mad that they ain't clapped yet. Yeah, of course, man. These dudes, man. Fuck these dudes. Goddamn clown ass niggas, man.
¡Ay, Miguel! ¡Miguel!
Nigga named Miguel. But back on topic. This is the part where I talk about the lack of education and pure ignorance of some of you black fools in this business. So will Boots do the same with Eddie Hearn? First of all, I would love just to ask Boots, why was that your choice? Let me ask y'all a question. What has Eddie Hearn done for Boots thus far? You know he's going to promote him. Boots the best thing since sliced bread. He could do this, he could do that. He's phenomenal. But Eddie Hearn also told me to my face, when you work with somebody, you got to promote him. When he was in a joint business venture, listen to the language, y'all. A joint business venture with DHP. Devin Haney was the greatest thing since sliced bread, wasn't he? Soon as he left, he's boring. See how that works? But it don't matter. Because you know 100% that he'd sign him again. Because Devin Haney is the face of boxing. I just pissed a lot of people off by saying that, but I can prove it. That's why I have him on the upper right-hand corner looking at these clowns. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Will St. Clair, salute. What's wrong with y'all? I'm over here making power moves by myself. And y'all are tied into deals. I can prove it. Main biker in that super chat salute. He says, if you can, check what I sent you on IG is related to the topic. All right, give me a second. I don't want to lose my train of thought. Give me a second. Devin Haney is a free agent, and it paid off because at the time when he was a free agent, it was before Turkey Al-Sheikh came into the business. And Turkey Al-Sheikh recognizes the aura around Devin Haney. Devin Haney generates similar hatred like how Floyd Mayweather did in his prime. Floyd's this, Floyd's that. They said he had pillow fists. They say he don't knock anybody out. They called him gay runner. Remember that? And all I said was, great, beat him. Did it happen? No. So who's having the last laugh? Now, is Floyd a dick? Yeah, but we ain't talking about that. When Floyd was an active fighter, my only defense to everything, people would have hour-long conversations about him and how he ain't shit, and I would listen to all the casuals in my locker room. You know, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be late for roll call, you know, talking shit about Floyd in front of me like it's hurting my feelings because you know what he just did Saturday night? He won. So when you can think of somebody that could beat him, let me know, we could talk. I always had the last laugh, no matter what. I always had the last laugh. And every week he fought, it was like, oh, he gonna lose now. Robert the Ghost Guerrero gonna get him now. He gonna get him with the body shot now. I come in that Monday morning. As soon as I walk in the locker room, I'll be like, money! Mayweather! Gave my money. Does everybody like to bet? Casuals like to bet. Fine. Lunch on you for the whole month, idiots, dummies. Stormy in that super chat salute. He says, no, I'm trying to turn people on to asking these questions so the robbing on fighters is exposed. 33 and a third is a lot. Now think of Oscar put it together. You know, 33 and a third is a lot. You remember when Errol stood on stage after he made the fight with Bud? Because Al ain't do that. Al didn't do that. Al told Bud, I'm not letting anybody near this fight. Floyd Mayweather said that fight's not happening until I say so. You remember that? Y'all didn't find that strange? And then Errol gets on the stage. I was standing right there at the Palladium in Manhattan. And he says, yo, we got to find out where all these sanctioning fees and where the money's going with these fighters. I said, yo. Uh-oh. He's asking questions. He's asking questions. There's a real reason why he's not active right now. That's business. The business kept, I'm pretty sure the business kept Errol out of the ring. They can't pay him what he's worth. I'm pretty sure. I don't have all the facts, but I'm pretty sure. These managers are eating off of the fighters. And Oscar really legitimately wants to eat off of these fighters' chests because he's a weirdo. This is why it's important for these fighters to move and shake on their own. Deion, salute. And that's all I've ever said. Now, was I team PBC? Yes, because Al Heyman's a black man, and I like what he was doing. So it was instinctive for us to protect him. The man didn't do any interviews. And people had everything to say about him that was negative. But all I saw was the work. And did everybody on this left side of the screen try to sue Al Heyman for violating the Muhammad Ali Act? Well, I know it was Bob Arum and Oscar. I know that. They tried to sue him for violating the Muhammad Ali Act. Remember that? That was the first time you casuals even heard of that. and it fell short. It was unsuccessful. Because Al Heyman is not a promoter. He's an advisor. So he knew going in how to move and shake around certain things. PGH, salute. Freedom's March, my brother, salute. K-Rod, salute. But Virgil Ortiz is fighting the machine. He wants what he wants, and what he needs to be doing is, what Oscar needs to be doing is doing what the fighter says. He's threatening to sue Virgil's team. Brandon, what up? How much of the pie is Oscar getting out of Virgil's fights? How much of that? And this is why you look at what Turkey's doing, and he's going to turn around and put it in the hands of Dana White, and y'all complaining? You can't complain. You can't complain. Y'all did this. If your favorite fighter is not over on Riyadh season, you should be screaming and hollering for him to go, because I guarantee you he has a contemporary over there or two. He'll never get those fights. But if you like just watching him fare against mediocre opponents, then fine. But eventually your luck runs out. Your luck runs out. Mellow Yellow fans, you're going to get in there and something going to happen. He's going to get clipped. He's going to sound just like Anthony Joshua when he came to New York. I wish that loss was to Deontay. Duh. We was telling you that. But you was listening to Eddie Hearn, and you thought you had some free food against Andy Ruiz, and how'd that work out? Came over here, you got poisoned, then you got your ass whipped. Anthony Bolton, salute. Duh, tried to tell you. But getting back to Boots, I don't know how his contract is structured either, but I asked y'all a question. What is Eddie Hearn done for Boots to date that we could look at and say, hey, you know what? That was a dope-ass move. What has he done? That's a real question. Can you tell me? Anything? He had him in Philly. Had him fighting in Philly, right? Had him fighting in Philly. That's a good thing. Put him in Philly. That's great. I like that. How many fights he had under the top rank? Under the Matchroom banner? How many fights? Can y'all tell me? Chris Leggs, salute, man. What's going on, brother? Oh, I like that. I like that. I like that. See, that's what I'm talking about. Benavidez is making power moves, and he's not pulling a Golovkin. He's not surrounding his career behind a guy that doesn't want to fight him. He's making his own path. Rich, what up? Okay, he did make him bigger than the PBC did. Okay, so now he has the marketing. That's great. But now there's food on the table. Howard, salute. No plans for open tie? Okay, all right, no problem. That's cool. Thomas, what up? He got Boots of unification at 47. Okay, I'm asking because maybe I don't. Maybe there's something I'm missing. I'm asking. Now, question. Here's the part. Ready? You got Boots unification at 47, right? What good is that if he left 47? Will St. Clair says Andre 2.0. That is my biggest fear. That is my biggest fear. And it's time to fix that. That's my biggest fear right there. Because what has Andre done since he lost to Benavidez? He's like disappeared. So I'm not, okay, unification at 47, that happened. But now he's at 54, so he just hit reset on the video game. Because had he had stayed at 47, we may have been talking about him versus Devin or him versus Brian Norman. And, you know, let's not forget, he did say he wanted to be undisputed at 47. That's what he said. And that changed. Was that him or was that Eddie? Can I ask y'all a question? Did he say, Just Spark, salute. Did he say out of his mouth that he couldn't make 47 anymore? Did I miss that? I'm asking. Because maybe there's something I'm missing. Did he say, I have a problem making 47? Did he say that out loud? Is there an interview where he said, nah, I just can't make 47 anymore? Or is the fans just looking at a picture of him looking cracked out, just concerned? Is that the fans saying that? Nicholas Levy, salute. Is that the fans saying that? Or did he say, yo, look, I can't make 47 anymore? Did he say that? Somebody educate me, please. Did I miss it? I may have missed it. Somebody correct me. Jalen Hudson, salute. Did he say that? Anybody? Did he say, I can't make 147 anymore? Aaron said he made Boots take a pay cut to fight Stanionis. And he smoked Stanionis, but it was a pay cut. And what was the reward for that fight? Bragging rights? Sid Mark, salute. K-Rod said no, he didn't. So he never said it. Okay. You sure? Y'all sure he never said that? Because I remember there was a picture of him going around with him looking slim at 147. And everyone said, hey, man, what's wrong with him? Robert Singleton said the doctors advised him to move up. What doctors? Now, Thomas, you're right. I'm just saying why he leave 147 in the first place. Because he was on Devin's list. Why'd he leave? Everybody knew Devin was going to 47. And while he was at 47, who was there? Brian Norman Jr. Remember when that was the fight we was trying to make for like 6 months? And who stopped that? The doctors advised him. Did Boots, wait, hold on. Let's analyze that. Did Boots say the doctor told him he can't hang around 47 anymore? Be careful. I know I did hear something about that, but I never investigated it because it sounded silly to me. Did Boots say the doctor said that, or did Eddie Hearn say it? Where'd that come from? Because I remember this. The CDB says Eddie said it. Eddie said it? Eddie said it? I played a video where Eddie Hearn lied straight to my face. I played it for you. He said all of this about Devin Haney, and then I said, how does he compare to Shakur? Because Shakur is what y'all claim Devin is. It's just that Shakur's never been hit yet. We know what happens when Devin gets hit because he's never been stopped. We don't know what happens if Shakur gets hit. So we don't know. I'm not saying he has a granite chin. I'm not saying he does or doesn't. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we don't know. But we do know he's not a KO artist. He's a phenomenal boxer. That I can give him. But Eddie Hearn said that Boots' doctors said, you got to move up because you can't do this to yourself. K-Rod says, I remember Boots saying in the past it's getting harder for him to make 147, but he never specifically said, I can't make 147 anymore. Okay. Anthony, you stupid. He said Dr. Doolittle said it. Okay. Now, let me ask y'all a question. Prior to Devin leaving 135, did he ever miss weight? No. Once the fight was signed, did he ever complain about missing the weight or making the weight or whatever? No, he never complained. When he went to 140, and then they said, yo, do you really mean you could go back to 135? He changed his mind. He said, nah, I feel better here. That's what he did say. And y'all tried to crash out on him over that. Oh, see, he lied. No, he changed his mind. He said, I feel like this at 40. I'm hitting harder. I have a lot more energy. I don't look like Skeletor on the scales anymore. Y'all didn't care because y'all wanted him to lose. But it's funny how Boots look like Skeletor, and all of a sudden y'all making excuses for him. You see what I mean? You see? See? I don't hear Boots speaking up, y'all. I don't hear it. St. Louis Mix, salute. Y'all remember my main concern when he went over there with Eddie Hearn? What did I tell y'all? What was my main concern about him? Eddie Hearn is a British promoter. He's country first. I said my biggest concern is I think he's lining Boots up for who? He's British first. I said I think he's lining him up for Conor Benn, bro. I think he wants to get Boots these bullshit fights, make Boots look good against winnable fights, the fights that he knows he's going to win. Get him, set up in Philly, create a name over here, get us rallying behind Boots, which is what we're doing anyway. And when Conor Benn doesn't get exactly what he wants, they want the Haney fight or whatever he said. Well, that's what he says. He don't really want no smoke. If that fails, he's going to feed him the American in Wembley. And he's going to tell Boots, hey, man, this fight over here, you're going to see 10 times more money over here in Wembley. And Boots is going to do it. And Conor's going to eat a whole lot of eggs, if you know what I'm saying. 54, of course, Conor can make 54. Here's my concern. I think Boots could have made 47. Boots is disciplined enough to make 47. That's what I feel. In my heart of hearts, I feel that. But I think Eddie Hearn, he kicked off on that Eubanks thing, and that rematch, he made Eubanks come down in weight. And you saw what happened. And I think he'll promote Boots and bring his ass over to the UK somewhere. And that'll be Boots' first loss. Now, I suspect that because I know this is a scumbag business and you don't trust Eddie Hearn at all. I don't know why these brothers keep going over there. Even you UK brothers, I don't know why you do that. What? You like how he protected the Lycan, Dillian White, that B sample? Let me tell you something. He's a dirty fighter. And the only reason why he did that was because it was in his best interest. Dillian White was his product.
And what he did was protect the product at that time. And he used business to keep that B sample sealed. That's right, Thomas. He's country first. And he has one of our major fighters over there, but Boots didn't go over there kicking and screaming. He went because he wanted to. He went because he felt he didn't have any other means to. But when we say, hey man, I don't know why these guys don't sit down and talk to Bill Haney about how things move and how things work. You guys run over here to all these guys that are well established, and you end up killing yourself. Talking to Bill Haney is free game. In my opinion, game ain't free. You need to charge people for what you got to tell them, especially if they're applying it to their real life or death. But they don't respect themselves. They don't respect it. When I say themselves, a black person will look at a black person and not respect them. I know an MD right now. He's a little younger than me. And you would never know, because when he's just casually hanging out, he wears some Air Force Ones, some blue jeans, and a white t-shirt. And he looked like everybody else. But he's an MD. I'm 5 years older than him. So what that mean? He has MD plates on his Jaguar. He's a doctor. Okay? He's a doctor. We don't respect ourselves. Y'all understand the show now? Even if you ain't go to Bill, you couldn't try and have a conversation with Al? You couldn't try? Al, let me kick it with you for a minute. Pick up the phone and try and call Don King if he could talk. Did you make the effort? I'm not saying whether he did or didn't, but you ended up with, man, why would you do this, man? All this negative about Devin Haney, he's the worst thing in the world, but he's one of the highest paid boxers right now. And he has no boss. Let that sink in. And I don't hear nothing but a bunch of niggas, dragging his name. I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. That was Harriet Tubman. Now, I Googled that quote, and then Google, it says they don't know if she even really said that or not. I'm not concerned. You know why? Because the comment actually makes sense. So you could suppress it and tell me it's fake all you want, but you know what? Being that I know how my people are, I believe the quote. Whether she said it or not, I believe the quote. Because most of you niggas are the plantation. Most of you niggas normalize the plantation. There's no reason why Virgil Ortiz is standing up for his own rights. And he got Oscar De La Hoya's panties in such a bunch that he's willing to fight for that. No, I want this Boots fight. I don't care what this dude with a thong in his ass is saying. I'm trying to get this work. This is my career. But Boots is over there with the plantation leader. I really don't understand you niggas. Now, as I'm talking right now, there's going to be some wild Boots fan that says, "Oh, you hating on Boots?" No, I'm super concerned. I don't want Boots to be a statistic. I want Boots to make as much money in the game, have a really good resume or great one, and leave the game with all of his faculties and a bunch of investment properties. He can take care of his family and have generational wealth. Okay? Remember this show. I said that. Just because I want to see him test his mettle against his contemporaries doesn't mean I'm wishing harm on him. That is a dick blower mindset that these kids have today. Me telling these kids, yo, you got to put in work, translates to me hating on whatever athlete. That's lazy. The reality is, you kids don't want to work. You accept mediocre as excellence. I keep going back to the debate I had years ago. Who would you rather be, Charles Barkley or Robert Horry? Robert Horry was a good player. He's not great. Great is when you make top 50 all time. He's not great. He's a damn good shooter. He has nerves of ice. He will hit the three. He's not afraid to take that last shot. But he's not a top 50 player. He's not. These kids today would rather ride the bench for 82 games, make the playoffs, and play in garbage time when their team is ahead by 30 points and only getting 2 minutes of playing time. And all for the purpose of just playing around great players who actually did the work. And they just want to pop bottles in the goddamn locker room, and you ain't do nothing. Nobody remembers Judd Bushler. Uh-oh. And Judd Bushler was nice. Y'all don't even know who the fuck that is. Robert Singleton in that super chat, salute. He says, I'm a Boots fan, but you're 1,000% on point, OG. More fighters need to hear this. Hey, man, this is concern. This ain't hatred. You feel me? You understand? This ain't hatred. I'm concerned. As soon as he went over there, I'm like, no. Just like when Bud got on a plane and went to Dubai and he's down there taking pictures with Tyson Fury. I said, what the fuck is he doing down there? Daniel Kinahan, Bud, no. No, not him. I ain't want to see Bud with Kinahan. I ain't want to see Bud. I'm glad he got away from Top Rank. I ain't want to see him over there with Eddie Hearn. I ain't want to see, come on, man. Yeah, Aaron, you know, Judd had a 3-ball. He could play. He was second string. He could play, but nobody remembers him. He got 3 rings. But you let these kids tell it. Would you rather be Judd Bushler or Derek Harper? They're going to say, well, who's Judd Bushler? Google him. Oh, he's with the championship Bulls? Oh. I'd rather be Judd. Why? And Derek Harper's not top 50 all time either. But Derek Harper was a legitimate threat on that floor. Everywhere he went, he was a starter. His defense was ridiculous, and he could shoot the 3-ball. He was a threat. Well, you let these kids, they'll look it up and say, they're going to go, who got the chips? These kids are lazy. And they're uneducated. That's my fear with Boots. Boots had a deep enough fan base, and he had people looking at him like, yo, could he be next up? All he had to do was do what Bob Arum said Bud didn't do. Bud's not out loud, and he wasn't out loud like that, but he had all the talent in the world. And it drove Bob crazy that he wasn't out here grandstanding and mouthing off like Floyd Mayweather was doing in his prime. It made him crazy. Because that's what he wanted a nigga to do. I fucked up with Floyd. Now I got this other $1 million nigga here. Why isn't he talking? That's just not what Bud did. Bud did his talking in the ring. It was your job, the promoter, to promote this guy. Why the fuck was you doing that with Manny Pacquiao and didn't do it with Bud? And then turn around and said, I lost all this money with Bud. I could have bought a house in Beverly Hills. And you killed the Manny Pacquiao fight for Bud. You even want to pass the torch to him. So these are what these demons are doing to black fighters, and these niggas are still going over there. Out the frying pan into the flame. This nigga goes to Dubai, Bud I'm talking about, and talks to Daniel Kinahan. I'm like, yo, did anyone tell him who he was? Or who he is? And what the fuck you taking a picture with? Oh my God, bro. Come on, man. Now, I just said that, and some Bud fan will come in here and say, you hating on Bud. Now, watch this. Did I lie about that just now? I ain't cut Bud down. I was just asking what's going on, man. And this is another thing I'm going to get into. Not 86 and that super chat. Salute to you, good brother. Always supporting. I appreciate you. Todd French in that super chat. Salute. He says, Cook, Drew. They have a false sense of identity. Hashtag Cook. I'm on a job. This goes into my other statement. My other, the other thing I want to talk about. I've made a decision going into 2026. Y'all all know I'm black first. I need you to understand what I'm about to say. I'm older than all of these fighters. Some of them are young enough to be my son or daughters. I've decided that I have to pull back on how I view the sport when it comes to some of these guys. I've been on YouTube fighting a good fight for a long time. The entire reason why I rallied behind 78 Sports TV back when he was 78 Fight News, and he announced that he was creating the LDBC. I support that, brother, because it needed to be done. Because I understood fast what the YTBC was about. I couldn't go anywhere and try and engage in a boxing conversation. Whenever I was talking about if it was two fighters and I picked the Mexican to win, nobody said anything. If I picked the Filipino to win, nobody said anything. If I picked the white man to win, remember when Gennady Golovkin was up and coming, I said, man, I like this guy. He got a hammer in that right hand, man. Watch this guy. He could be a problem. Nobody said anything. It was only when I said, hey, you know what? I think Tim Bradley, man, he might have something in store for his next opponent. Oh, you just a nigga. And mind you, I didn't have my picture attached to my avatar at the time. I was like, what? Maybe that's him. It was all these channels. It's all these channels. And there was only a handful of channels where I felt safe to talk boxing. And this is before the technology of live streams came about. Yeah, who was around when you commented on a video and you had to refresh the page or come back the next day to find out that somebody cussed you out? Y'all go back that far? You were getting an hour-long, you were getting a week-long, month-long arguments with strangers. And it's no longer about boxing. It became about race. And I said, you know what? I'm not dealing with this. Then I found 78's channel. I said, this brother is talking boxing. And that's why I stayed. And there was a couple of guys that I, was talking boxing. And when he said, yo, I'm starting this LDBC thing. If you want to come here, you can talk boxing and not be attacked because of your ethnicity. Come on here and talk boxing with us because I'm not dealing with that anymore. And I said, all right. And that's when I started my channel because I wanted to support the movement. And then live stream technology came along a little before that. Star City J, salute. So that's just my brief history with me getting involved. I just wanted to support the brother, and it's blossomed into this. And as you can see, we still get attacked by various races, self-hating niggas. That was just in the chat. I'm up here talking about this, and he wants to come in here and talk about, the dude that he wished his girlfriend looked like. This is strange, very strange. This is horrible. But what I've decided, let me see something. Hold on a second. Let me check something. I've decided that I'm more aware than these kids are in the game of boxing. I don't know who raised them. But I get it, because when I see men like Derrick James working with Ryan Garcia, look, I don't know what kind of I don't know what anyone's financial situation is. Rolly, what up? Dill Spoolie, salute. I don't know. Cats do something strange for some change, man. But me personally, even under duress, you couldn't make me work with Ryan Garcia. Not after what he did. Not after what he did and what he said. Never. Do y'all understand we gave Derrick James an award? Y'all wasn't even around for that. TZ Frank, salute. Y'all know we gave him an award. Y'all remember that? It's a few years ago. Y'all remember that? We gave him an award. I have his phone number, man. I interviewed him. If you check my channel during the Errol Spence Bud thing, we exchanged numbers, and I said, "Hey, man, I know after this you're going out." And he was also training James Franklin, not James Franklin. Holy shit, Franklin! Ain't that funny? The heavyweight that was fighting AJ, gave AJ fits. Remember that? He was training AJ. And I said, I ain't gonna bother you because I know you're going out after this, you're going out to the UK. I'm gonna give it about a month. I'm gonna call you back. Never called him. And I didn't say anything at that point. But at that presser, he seemed detached from the public. He doesn't like a lot of attention. Mac, what up? Snoop, what up? He doesn't like a lot of attention. I get it. When Trail Bill clowned Louis Hinton, salute. When he clowned Henry Garcia's toupee-looking head, it's not a toupee. I was right next to him, but Bill was just clowning. Yeah, I remember what Henry said. Better toupee than have a nappy head. I speak of the facts. And Devin said, that sounds like some racist shit to me. He said, I speak of the facts. Derrick James was sitting right there. Better this than nappy head. I speak of the facts. That's why I say it, because that's how he said it. I speak of the facts. Ooh. And I'm like, yo, I'm sitting in the front row. I was like, what the fuck? Wow. I don't know how that equates. A toupee, nappy hair, and Derrick James is sitting there. And Bernard Hopkins was on the stage too. And I looked straight at them and I said, well, I expect B-Hop not to do shit. This is way after those racist emails came. EMT says, Derrick James is bald though. When he was born, was he bald? So when he had hair in 1979, how do you think it looked? Was it straight? Or was it nappy? So I look right at Derrick James. And you see what EMT Rick said? This is the disconnect. That's a childish. What the fuck? What is wrong with you kids, man? What is wrong with you? What is the matter? You see, you're looking right at it. And this is why I gotta pull back from these fighters. Look, Devin picked up on that immediately. He said, that sounds like some racist shit to me. That was the jab. That was the first jab, because that was way before Ryan had his racist meltdown. And now you see where he gets it from. So I looked at that. I said, uh-oh, more to come. I said, okay, this ain't the last we've seen or heard of this. I could deal with people calling Devin, oh, pillow fist, chinny. All of that's a lie. I could deal with that. But when I'm talking to young Latino fans, and I remember I interviewed that young man and his friends outside of the next conference, and it was I spoke to him 1 year, and then a year later, I interviewed him again, and he stood on supporting Ryan Garcia. So then when MJ, what up? So then when I asked him, what about his racist outbursts? He says, no. All of them was like, no, we don't agree with that. You don't? You don't. But you're here. You didn't even get inside, young man and his friends. And when we talk about him popping dirty, what do you think they did? They brought up Victor Conti. I didn't even bother to bring up Uzi Sajjad. I didn't even bother. They don't know who the fuck that is. But they've been conditioned. But when I see you darkies conditioned the same way, because you're hating on someone that looks, his nose is wide like somebody in your family. He's the complexion of somebody in your family. And you don't even understand why you're here. Like, people don't even understand. This nigga James Franklin don't even understand why LDBC exists. I just explained it. I gave you the short version. I just explained it, but he's running around. He was fucking with BFTB yesterday, talking about, I killed the LDBC and Drew Titan. Yo, he's a nigger. And it makes sense. He's a nigger from Baltimore. Damn it, isn't Baltimore the goon capital of the United States, or is it somewhere else? I can't keep track. Once upon a time, it was Philly. Then it was Baltimore. Now, I think it's Mississippi. Somewhere, look. Is it Jackson? I forget. Jackson, Mississippi? I don't know. It was somewhere Alabama. I mean, come on. I don't see nothing but you knuckle draggers doing this. But what's worse is when we stand on business, because we know what it is. And not only do the fighters ignore what we point out, and the trainers and the promoters ignore what we point out in order its simplicity. Some of these motherfuckers get mad at us. You think everybody's a fucking enemy to the point where you don't even know what the fuck support is. I'll give you an example of that. I had Bernie on my show. And he pulled up late. I didn't appreciate that. I don't have the biggest channel in the world, but I have a channel indeed. If I was Sports Center, if I was Ring Magazine, he'd have been up here early. But it's a black dude with a small channel, and I'm from the Bronx. I'm known, but I'm not known. It's whatever. I do this for the love of the sport. A, B, I definitely support everything black. But how am I treated? He shows up late. That's number one. Number two, he was late because he was over there fucking around on Mill City. And some people don't go there just to talk. They go there to get turned up, to argue. And contrary to popular belief, I'm not on here to argue with anybody. I speak boxing how I see it, and it's supported by the facts. My opinion is supported by the facts. If the facts change, my opinion will change with those facts. That's how it's supposed to work. It was like that with Bud. There were certain things that were being said along the Errol and Bud thing where it made me change. Like, hold on. Al told him what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Floyd said what? Why would he say that? And then Errol says, I feel like I'm being played. Wait a minute. What's going on? And my opinion changed. See how that works? And I still support Bud. Still, 100%. I bought every one of his pay-per-views. I've been to 2 fights. When he was fought Amir Khan at the Garden, I was there and I bought the pay-per-view. Vegas, when he fought Errol, I was there and I bought 2 pay-per-views. So I support. The rest of you dudes just get on here and look for stream links. I support. But Bernie comes here. First thing he says, sorry I'm late. I was over on Mill City. I'm like, oh, man. He was already on 10. So not even 2 minutes into the conversation, Bernie, glad you're here. Salute to y'all. Y'all did a great thing. Salute to Bud. And he disrespected Stormy. Now, I didn't say anything, but he damn sure did. Go back and look at it. Stormy is paying the man a compliment. And just in basic conversation, he disrespected Stormy. First of all, Stormy's not an idiot. As a matter of fact, I'd say that Stormy and Scrapbook, and shout out to Curtis, our fallen soldier. These 2 men are the most intellectually sharp men in the LDBC. And they don't get the respect that they deserve. And I let that go because he's already here. And I'm like, all right, let's just do it. Stormy cut his camera off and he just hung backstage for a minute. And I just conducted the conversation. But we didn't come in, we're not the enemy, brother. We're not the enemy. We never were. Stormy was the one telling me all this time. He said, man, when that Bud fight happens, Bud's going to beat the shit out of Errol. He told me that every time we spoke about it. I said, really? He said, yeah. But he wasn't saying it because he's only Team Bud. He said it because he broke it down, the intangibles. Stylistically, Bud was better. He proved it. Bud is a gym rat. He don't have any bad habits. And it showed in that fight. I said, well, shit, Stormy, you're right. I wasn't mad. Now, had Bernie had calmed down for 2 fucking seconds, him and Stormy would have had an excellent conversation. Every time I have a trainer up here, we had Ronnie Shields up here. And Ronnie, when he cut on his camera, he didn't know what he was waiting. He knows about social media, but he didn't know what he was in for. He didn't know if it was going to be a clown show or whatever. But him and Stormy got to talking, and Ronnie was just smiling and everything. He had a good old time. And when trainers and Stormy start talking, I hang back. Because a bit of that is a conversation I can't comprehend. I'm not a trainer. But that's what the Stronghouse is about. Bridging the gap, educating people. And with the Bud and situation, what he did with Canelo, man, it's a great thing. It's a phenomenal thing. And it's something that we need to celebrate as boxing supporters and as black people, because y'all saw my chat. We had the racists come through my chat. Well, 3 in particular. And none of them come back anymore. Remember Figure Drawing, that guy? The kid that was trying to argue with me or everything, he stuck around. I said, bro, just come back. Whatever happens. That Sunday morning, when the fight's over, if Bud lose, I'm going to go live. If Bud wins, I'm going to go live, but come on back. Pop your shit. Yeah, the dude that claimed he was 60 years old, yo, if Bud lose, close your channel. What? Why? This is a boxing channel. Why? I'm going to talk about what happens. But you show up. And there was somebody else. It escapes me. But y'all show up. But they weren't as heavy as I figured they were. You know why? Because they knew what was going on. Because they felt like how I felt. If you a Canelo fan, I don't know about this one. But what was I saying the whole time? Bud's all wrong for Canelo. First of all, he's not bigger than Bud. So throw that out. Bud got a better reach, and he's all wrong. His feet are good. I told y'all Canelo got busted wheels. I told y'all that. But let me bring it back to Bernie. Now, and I appreciate that, Stormy. You did what adults do. Stormy cut his camera off and he hung back and we talked to Bernie. But Bernie was very disrespectful and I didn't say anything. But we always do this to each other, man. We always do this to each other. Now he calmed down as the show went on and he realized this wasn't Mill City. I'm not gonna be on here fussing with you. The chat wasn't hostile, none of that. But Bernie didn't understand he was on a platform with a true supporter of the sport that's older than him and can talk those names that he brought up. Now I told Bernie, I said, hey man, we're here to learn. Maybe there's things inside the camp that we don't know about, man. We're here to learn, brother. And then Stormy paid him a compliment and he snapped at him. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? But he came from Mill City. If you tell me you're going to do my show, exactly, coach. And you tell me, hey, I'm going to be there at 8, I'm going to be there at 7. I could deal with that, but don't tell me you're going to be there and you know my show starts at 7. And you come waltzing your ass in here like around 8 o'clock. And he had a link already. But I'm going to tell you what. We had a lot of white fighters up here. They were early. Felix, salute. I forget which show it was, Felix. I forgot it's LDBC Strong. I forgot the number. It wasn't that long ago. It was after Bud destroyed Canelo. It may have been a show or two after that, but it's there. I forget which one. It wasn't the next day. It was probably 2 weeks later. I forget. But it was very disrespectful, but we didn't soil the show. We just rolled with it. But I'm saying something now to make a point. Some of you cats, and I'm talking to my people now, some of you cats, y'all are out here fussing so much, you don't know who's friend or foe. You don't know who's friend or foe. And it's like, yo, calm down. This ain't the place for that. I have Vinny Pazienza on here. He was early. Gerard Harlem in the building. He was early. These dudes come up early. But some of you niggas don't even respect each other. How can I expect you to respect me? Joseph Townsend, salute. You don't respect yourself. Bernie don't need to be over there arguing with anybody. Bud did what he did. He has the last word. But some niggas just like to argue like that. They like that. I'm not like that. I'm not cut from that cloth. I told y'all, that's why I don't do debates. I could debate with the best of them. I know how to do it. I just don't, because I know where it goes. You see this shit with BFTB and KO right now. Niggas turn to babies over that shit. I'm talking about KO, not BF. KO turned to a fucking baby. For what? You win some, you lose some. Get out your feelings. Niggas run back to their channel and start not even sneak dissing, dropping names like, yo, dogs, I didn't know it was that serious. Got body bagged by Rachel and you in your feelings. You chose that debate, dumbass. Gonna tell Rachel, I want to debate Chocolatito versus Nonito, and I got Chocolatito. What the fuck? She gonna pick Chocolatito? He was trying to son a woman and got his ass obliterated. And got mad and ran back to his channel. That nigga's a girl. I don't deal with dudes like that. I promise you I don't. Super panels of people cussing each other out. It gets so far away from boxing, it turns to some personal shit. We'll pull up and I'll do this and you ain't gonna do. Man, shut up, bro. Everybody tough. Shut up. That's why I don't engage. I don't. Because these niggas ain't mature enough. They're not. But getting back to that shit with Bernie, I'm making a point. We were not the enemy. You showed up here late, and then 2 seconds into the goddamn platform, Stormy's paying you a compliment, and you snap at him. I'm like, wow, bro. Wow. And I'm going to tell you something else. It ain't the first time he did that. He was on Tay Jones' show last year, and I sent Tay Jones a super chat, and he read it to him. He snapped at the super chat. And all I said was, yo, salute, man. Y'all doing y'all thing. I'm proud of y'all. I forgot what I said, but it wasn't disrespectful. He sucks his teeth. Man, it ain't even about all that, man. We got, whoa, what? I just shook my head. You know, I already hit the like button, but I left. That shit happened, bro. If you can find Tay Jones' live stream where he had Bernie on, go to my super chat. He did it then. I said, oh, well, okay. I can't deal with niggas that are on 10 all the time. You know what it's like? You ever been with someone close to you and they about to have a physical altercation and you stopping him like, yo, chill. And he snatch away from you and he balls his fist up at you like, get off me. And he got to look at you like, why you act like, nigga, we was with each other all day. We done got a slice of pizza. We done hollered at some bitches. And now you about to fight, but I don't want to see you getting locked up. And you tore away from me and balled your fist up at me for a second. What the fuck was that? See? Like that. Like that. I don't like that shit. I'm tired of protecting these niggas from themselves. I always talk about quantity versus quality. Of course, everyone would love to have 100,000 subs organically. But I'd rather have under 10,000 subs with what I got like 145 people in here now. I'd rather have under 10,000 subs, quality eyesight, with a little over 1,000 views on some of my videos, than 100,000 subs in a platform built off of arguing, debating, and just pure chaos. I can't operate like that because you get so far away from the point, the topic. And that's why BFTB is great at what he does. Because after you get to screaming and cussing, get back to the topic. And that's why you get mad. Get back to the topic. You know how you win a debate? You don't engage with some shit you're not 100% sure about. You get dumbasses on a panel that just like to argue because you don't like what they said about your boo-boo. Or B-U-B-U, B-E-W, B-E-W. Mellow Yellow. When you have a grown-ass man saying that I will defend Tank Davis against all, what do you refer to people? All enemies, foreign and domestic. What the fuck does that even mean, bro? I'm not protecting anybody. These motherfuckers grew up and said, I want to be a boxer. And all I'm saying is, hey, you got a contemporary over here. You got a contemporary over here. You got a contemporary over here. Are you going to fight him or not? My brother Junior, you understand? I don't need to debate on anything. I don't need to, because I know what I know. Everyone got all these things to say about their favorite fighter. All I'm going to ask you, I don't care who your favorite fighter is, who's his contemporaries? This guy, and this guy, or that guy over there? Okay, please explain to me why they're not fighting. And don't let your favorite fighter be the A side, because it falls on that fighter. That's all I'm asking. Now, if there's something I don't know, I will allow you to educate on me, because I'm not gonna argue about something I don't know. That's ignorant. Making multiple accounts to come on here and put LDBC in your name, James. Just the fuss because you want to defend Mellow Yellow, who don't even like you. That's insane. And what's insane? Doing the same thing over and expecting different results. Holler at me when Tank signs to fight somebody on this motherfucking list right here. Even if they're retired, for Pete's sake. Holler at me when he's fighting somebody here. Tank, I'm talking about. Because the only person on this list that he did fight, he fought to a draw, and we want him to run it back, and he's not doing that. So holler at me when he does something for me to talk about. Until then, you know, stay on his dick and get off mine. See how simple that is? These dudes are slaves, and they don't even know it. You a slave to a fighter that don't like you and is not doing anything. Why do you think I'll call these guys gay? Now, if you come over here and get that knowledge, I could have freed you if you knew you was a slave. You get the connection now. Anything I ever said about Bud was out of concern. Now, you go to a hardcore Bud fan and you ask him, hey, man, you know, what was that down in Dubai? Either A, they don't know, or B, they're going to say, well, he didn't do anything down there anyway. But the point is he went. The point is he went. And we didn't like that. And nobody around him was able to tell him. Nobody around him, I mean, come on. Bomac didn't say, hey, man, there's some research on this guy, Daniel Kinahan. Not good. We shouldn't even go down there. No. He went down there looking for a deal. And I said, yo, bro, not him. Not him. The intent was there, though. I didn't appreciate that. What, I'm supposed to ignore it? So that thing with Bernie, that's an example. And don't get it fucked up. I mean, I really don't care if y'all run back in time. I don't care. Yo, Drew Titan was talking shit. I don't care what you do. Because at the end of the day, Bernie met me face to face in Vegas. BFTB was there. He stopped me. He said, don't I know you? I said, I don't know. Do you? Yeah, I know you on YouTube. I said, yeah. He said, don't you work with that dude, Fanon? I said, at the time I was working with Fanon. I said, yeah. He said, oh, yeah, that's where I know you from. He stuck his hand out. We shook hands. Well, we gave each other a pound, and we was talking. And this is before the Sean Porter fight was signed. And I said, I'm hearing about you and Sean, you and Bud and Sean. What's going on? He said, yeah, man, that's in talks, you know. I said, how you think you're going to do? He said, I don't know. We just going to do it. We just going to do it. BFTB was 5 feet behind me having another conversation. He turned around. He said, I got to see it, homie. So I stepped out the way so he could see BF. When I stepped, he stepped with me like we was dancing. So then he kept talking. Yeah, man, Sean, he a dog, but, we just going to get him. BF said it again. I got to see that, homie. So I stepped back to my right. He stepped with me. True story. It was at the MGM Grand in the lobby by the fucking boxing ring. That's a true story. That shit really happened. He didn't want to talk to BF. He knew who he was. You can't miss him. BF is there with a fucking shirt on that says BFTB, the hat, BFTB. Couldn't miss him. He knows that, and all you clowns know who the fuck he was. That happened. I said, okay, I guess he don't want to talk. Fuck a debate in real life right now. And what I'm telling you is all that vigor he had on my fucking show and on Mill City was not the vigor he had in person. First of all, the nigga like 5'4". He's mad little. You know what? I ain't want to go there, bro. Because it's going to sound like, I'm not. I'm saying that what he put out, to me, when I gave Tay Jones that super chat and I was paying him a compliment, what he put out there and what he put out to Stormy on my show was unnecessary. Because Stormy is probably one of the biggest and most educated Bud supporters on YouTube. And he came on here and did this. What you did was pull up on a crowd full of people at a party and shot into a crowd for no reason and hit the fucking teacher that everyone liked. That's what you did. And I've been looking for a way to say this since then. But this live this morning, I'm making it known. A lot of these motherfuckers in the industry, black motherfuckers, don't deserve my support or protection. Renzo, salute. They don't. 704 Joe, salute. They don't. Because they don't understand what the fuck's going on. Or they do and they don't fucking care because they're going for themselves. I was the only person that got on my fucking live stream. And when I found out that Bud, I heard he was having some trouble with one of his baby mamas during camp or some shit. I was the only person that voiced it and said, come on, bro, I need you to focus. If I need you to be focused on anything, it's that. I don't need him to get in, these baby mamas, this is the most important fight of his life, and they wait till now to start acting up. This ain't the fight to be acting up with. And thank the universe that he had his head on straight. I don't talk much about how he lives his life. Y'all like dragging Arrow for his drinking. I could drag him for being a connoisseur of pussy. Having kids, I would say having kids out of wedlock, but he's not even married to Shorty. Got kids with her, got a kid on her outside of that relationship, and he's not married. I didn't harp on that. You noticed that, right? Because I would rather talk Bud up. I'd rather talk him up. I ain't want to talk about the busted gloves and shit, right? There's a whole lot I could be talking about, but it would sound like I'm cutting him down. I wanted him to win in life, and he's done that. And even when he won in his own goddamn town, they pull him over. The cops pull him over. You see? Now, he could be annoyed with his own community. I don't care about that. He ain't do no interviews with us. But they damn sure told him he was with us. When he decided, hey, I'm going to sue Bob Arum, what did they say? When did Bud join the LDBC? Huh? He's never been on our channels. We've never spoken to him. When he started stringing together wins, you saw him, Hollywood, on the big channels, on ESPN and everywhere else. He don't fuck with us, and I'm cool. I don't need him to fuck with us to support him. I don't. Do the work. And I don't want him coming back to give Canelo another chance to do anything. He's leaving perfectly. Stay gone, brother. Go away. Good. Don't give these crazy goons, True Boxing Night salute. Don't give these goons an opportunity to take anything from you, because they will. They tried to do it when you went home, bro. Y'all saw that college game after those brothers, he scored the touchdown. They ran halfway down the damn the hallway, and that fucking state trooper bumped them during a game. You can't control your racism during a game. Why you bump them, bro? These are the things we're up against. And where we could disagree, you could be Team Bud versus Team Spence or whatever. Team Boots versus Team Bud. All this gangbanging and shit. I watch these things online like, what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong? I don't see Mexicans doing this to each other. Munguia just fought a fucking Canelo. I didn't see them gangbanging. After Canelo said, I'll never fight another Mexican again, out loud. But I said, man, if Errol said that, or Bud said that, or Deontay said that, if black fighters said, I'll never fight another black fighter, first of all, there won't be no sport. It'd be boring. But they would drag him for that. WBC would launch an investigation and everything else. But when we say we want the best fighting the best, what's going on? These motherfuckers are so goddamn touchy. You dudes are raised by single mothers. That's why you're so goddamn feminine. That's your problem. You may know your daddy, but he ain't in your life. Skinny jeans, painting your fingernails, goddamn doing everything. You're getting your eyebrows tweezed, and you're doing everything, but next thing you know, you're going to be wearing eyeliner. That's coming. Trust me. I'm not into arguing with people online. I'm trying to support my black fighters first because I know what this sport is. Y'all don't know. I tell y'all all the time, subscribe to Scrapbook Boxing. Get a history of what black fighters had to deal with historically. Imagine going to a town and you a boxer going to a town and on the way down this road, you seeing niggas hanging from a tree by their neck. Don't come in this town and win, boy, or you're going to end up like him. Babies and shit getting killed. Over boxing? There's a history behind this. You got to catch the replay, Renzo. You got to catch the replay. I'm just making a point. I don't see anybody attacking Virgil Ortiz for standing up to Oscar. But I watched Dillian White just eat up what Barry Hearn said about him and how they used to treat fighters. I've watched fucking Bob Arum delay Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd for 4 fucking years. My nephew was a freshman in high school. The fight didn't happen until he was on the way to fucking college. He said, "Oh, they fighting now?" Yeah. He said, "Man, what? They should have fought." I said, "Bro, it's been about 4 years." Yes. He said, "Damn, that's a long time." Yep. And I saw more niggas running with that it was Floyd's fault when he was actively trying to make the fight. You're not pro-black, man. And a lot more of y'all could have been freed if you knew you were slaves. So I'll become a pro at protecting my peace. That's why my block game is strong. And I expose people for being mentally ill, like James Franklin. He's very ill. He's mentally ill. He came in here, about a half hour ago with another account that I had to block. And what is he fussing over? Is the topic today about Tank? No. It can be, but he falls in the same category as everybody else. He thinks everyone's against him. He thinks everyone is against him. That's why when his fans say, "Hey man, we love you, we want you back," he says, "Fuck y'all." That's a product of him doing so much dirt. He don't know who's friend or foe. He's fighting with everybody. You leave people like that alone because he don't know he's a slave. Boots made a conscious decision to go fuck with Eddie Hearn. And Virgil's fighting for the right to fight him. But maybe if Boots was independent, and I know if you talk to Boots, he probably will say, "Hey man, you think it's easy being independent, but it's not." I would rather him have a council session with Don fucking King or Bill. Hell, sign the DHP. Oh my God, why would you sign the DHP? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Carter Face Stealer, salute. Why wouldn't you? DHP or fucking Matchroom. Check the resume. And I'm telling you, I think he's still being lined up for Conor Ben. I stand on that. Brother Thomas says there are no good American promoters right now. Well, that's why you go by yourself. He's the talent. I know there's no good American ones, but you go with Eddie Hearn with his track record. This motherfucker's gonna find himself in Wembley fighting Conor Ben on a bunch of eggs. It's gonna be the fight of his life. Conor Ben is a drug cheat, really hasn't done shit in boxing. But every time I turn around when somebody does something of note, they bring Devin's name up. They keep doing that shit. Super MRT has just got his ass kicked Saturday. And now they got old boy in the ring with Devin Haney. Y'all peep that? At 140. Everyone's talking about Africa, Mr. Popo Hitchens. Nigga, you at 140. Go to 40. Go to 47 and then talk. Because all you doing is talking. That's that Brooklyn shit. I'm gonna leave that alone. My brother Mook in that super chat salute, he says, y'all hit the like button, hype the video, hype up, share the video, and subscribe. Well, good, Uncle Drew, man. I'm on the job, good brother. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you. I don't care where Boots gone. I don't like him over there with anything in the UK. Don't like him with Oscar. That's really him with the goddamn fishnets and the wig on. Weirdo. He's the talent. Real shit, man. So for real. Philip D in the building. Salute. Well, these kids got to think outside the box because DHP don't have those problems that everyone else has. They done talk shit about DHP, but he don't have. Devin is one of the highest paid fighters in the sport. And he ain't got no problem where he working. But Boots is stuck over here with fucking Eddie Hearn. And he quiet. And this is concern. I'm saying hate, I'm concerned. I don't want him being in a position where it's like, oh, okay, there's no one here, there's no one here, there's no one here. Well, you might as well go fight Conor Ben. He's a name, but he hasn't done shit. Well, he's a name. You got to do something. Because Oscar's going to tie Virgil Ortiz up in court. He ain't going to be able to do anything. That's my point. You're going to turn around, it's going to be August, and they're going to be tied up with all this paperwork. And it could be a losing battle on Oscar's end. A losing battle on Oscar's end. But it's enough to keep Virgil out the ring. And then what's Boots going to do? What's he going to do? And this is the business part that I can't stand. Boots could be doing better than fucking with Eddie Hearn, man. I'll stand on that, man. The options are up to y'all to decipher. I'm just saying, you know this. Come on, man. No. No, absolutely not. This is bullshit. Sam Mack, salute. Appreciate you. If y'all knew y'all were slaves, a lot more y'all could have been free. And this is why we have anarchy right now. You're running around listening to people that ain't even got their head on straight. Lost in the Jungle, salute. And I know what it is. I told y'all. Look, man, the history with this whole sport, y'all have no idea. If y'all knew and y'all held it dear to your hearts, you knuckle draggers wouldn't even be on black channels talking the way y'all talk, man. Everybody should be peaceful. There shouldn't be no beef, nothing. But y'all have this unconditional love. Kawhi, salute to you, brother. You have this unconditional love for whatever fighter that you lose all sense of reality. Y'all are incapable of engaging in a conversation because the end game should be getting the best to fight the best. And right now at 54, that's Virgil Ortiz and Jerron Boots Ennis. And Virgil is going for his. When the time is right, his Boots going to do the same. Boots not getting the fights that he wants. Whose fault is that? Is it really Eddie's? Or is it his ass for going over there in the first fucking place? Please don't tell me he didn't have options, man. I don't believe that. So bringing it back to my point about me having to back off on these fighters, me backing off on these fighters when they do something that's off code, I'm the only person on code on these airwaves. The LDBC is on code on these airwaves. I know what I'm looking at. If these fighters don't know what they're looking at, I'm not going to speak up on their behalf. Especially if they come to my platform and disrespected me or disrespected what we represent. Hating on you is not asking you to fight your contemporary. I shouldn't have to ask you to do that. You should just want to do it because it's the thing to do. You're just showing me that you're incapable. And I'm cool because I know what I'm looking at. I'm just fine. But you're not. And I know how this ends. Thomas says, not many options. PBC or Golden Boy or Turkey by way of Matchroom. He's with Matchroom right now. How's that working out? And I said earlier, Thomas, he couldn't sit down with Bill months ago and have a conversation. How do I move and shake on my own? He has 80% of the battle won because he was next up. They had him beating Arrow. They had him beating Bud. Those conversations was really happening. He's the talent. Do something, but signing over there with fucking Eddie Hearn, look where it's getting him right now. And if he gets lined up with Conor Benn fighting in the UK, I know what's going to happen, bro. I hope he wins that fight, but I don't see that happening. One minute he wants to clean up 47, and now he's at 54 with a Fugazi excuse. How you going to say, yo, I want undisputed at 47 and then you leave? Oh, I'll fight Devin at a catch weight of 52. What? Devin just got there. That's what I'm saying, Thomas. He didn't have to necessarily sign with DHP, but he could have sat with him and picked up on some game. I heard Kevin Newman left. And I don't know what happened with that. I never asked. What's Kevin Newman doing now? A lot of people don't even know who the fuck Kevin Newman is. I'm talking about Boots. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Boots, sit down and get some game. They undermine Bill's mind. And I see niggas doing this. They undermined what he thinks. Exactly, Thomas. He's sparring. That's my point. That's my point. We don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but he's sparring now, right? There's Kevin Newman and there's Boots. For all we know, he could have signed Boots. Hey, man, follow my direction, do this, and that, and I'll put you in there with Devin. It'll work to his favor. All right, Thomas, we'll holler at him, find out what happened. Because ain't nobody thinking about no Kevin Newman. Nobody even knows who he is. And I say that respectfully, but what I'm saying is nobody knows who he is in comparison to Boots. Boots was just next up. Tim, what up? I don't know. For all we know, he ain't following direction. For all we know, I don't know. I don't know. I'm saying I don't like Boots over there with Eddie fucking Hearn. It's not helping Boots. Now he's at 154. Doing what? What's up there? Conor Ben. Oh, yeah, we'll fight Devin at 52. I'm like, come on, bro. I don't know what's happening. But I know I don't like this matchroom move. I don't like that. Check the track record. Check the fruit on the tree. I don't like it, bro. I don't like that for Boots. So Ortiz is fighting the power. This hair-hatted hooligan with fishnets on. He's fighting the power right now. He's about to get tied up in litigation. I know it. And what's Boots supposed to do? Wait on Virgil Ortiz? How long he does that for about, let's say by the time we get to March, Eddie's going to be like, man, fuck this. We got to go somewhere else. Boots, you want to make some money? Want to make some money? We can fight another fight in Philadelphia, or you come to Wembley and fight Conor. If that fight's ever announced, it's over with. It's over with, bro. Unless he knocks Conor out, which I hope happens, it's over with, bro. He's not bringing Conor Ben to America. It's worth more over there. The undefeated American's head on a platter out of the boxing city of Philly? Come on, bro. I don't think Xander Zayas' team wants any part of Boots. Bakram is sitting there with his dick in his hand like, what's going on? What's going on? Fuck Keith Thurman. And Fundora's always there, but man, this is a mess. We want Ortiz versus Boots. I don't understand. Man. This is ridiculous. This bullshit that I'm talking about this morning is exactly why I refuse to argue with the fanatics of these fans in particular. I'm not arguing with you. I'm really not. I'm blocking your stupid ass. I really am. I'm really not doing it. Moving forward, I'm not doing it. I am not arguing with you stupid asses anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm not opening up my panel for y'all niggas, and I'm not doing it. If I have an open panel, we all got to be on the same page. If it's a slight disagreement, then we could discuss it. But when you're like on a level of a James Franklin, you're a weirdo. But you got to make several accounts. I just put up a short video about his dumb ass today because he's a clown and he's going to be treated accordingly. There is no changing his mind. There is no adult conversation. There's none of that. He's mentally ill, and he keeps showing up to places where he's not welcome. He's probably going to be in 78's Chattanooga. Wow, he's probably there right now. He's going to pop up on Champ Sides. So Champ Side could be talking about LSU. He's going to pop up there talking about Tank. I mean, this is how crazy he is. Whole time he's in his car, hiding his phone when his girl get in the car. That's real shit. That's real shit. The dude is crazy. So, you know, whatever, man. But I have to dial it back with these fighters too, because a lot of them aren't any different from the fanatics that support them. And when you're stupid, when you're so stupid, I gotta spell it different for you. STOOOOOPID. If you're that stupid, then I can't help you, and I refuse to. I cannot help you, and I refuse to. I refuse to, because you're beyond help. You don't want help. You just want to argue a no point that doesn't make sense. And these black fighters, man, you think Bud cared about the racist aspect of this thing until he tried to sue Bob Arum and then magically the lawsuit went away? You think he cared? You think they understand that we're not the enemy? Bernie could go to Mill City and fuss and scream with people in the chat and scream with him, whatever he does over there, and then come to my platform and he's on 10. And then come to my platform late. If I tell you I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be somewhere. Yo, listen, I don't do CP time. I never liked that. That's fucked up. Part of the reason why I don't like Chris Colbert, because of how he treats his own community. And y'all, a lot of y'all weren't here when he did that shit to Barbershop Conversations. I stood up. I had to go to work in the morning, but I stood up to support him. I want to talk to him and encourage him. And I went to the show. We was like, yo, where's Chris at? He's like, I don't know. He said, I do this live stream for them, man. You know, I'm trying to get their name out there. Did he call? No. Did he reschedule? No. He just ghosted him. Oh, that's a YouTube channel. But if that was some white guys at ESPN, would he have done that? If that was some white guys at Fox, would he have done that? No, this is a YouTube channel, but the people that own the YouTube channel look like you. Why aren't you extending them the same courtesy? Because just like we don't know who you can be in the next 2 to 5 years, you don't know what that YouTube channel could be. That could be the next Jake Paul of boxing talk on YouTube. You don't know that. But God's not a liar. Because look at how he ended up. You walk to the ring wearing your fucking sombreros backwards, by the way. I didn't know that until my Mexican boy told me. He said, you know he's wearing that backwards? I said, what? He said, he has on, it's like wearing a fitted cap and you can't see the logo because you got to turn backwards. He said he has a sombrero on backwards. I didn't know that. I don't wear sombreros. And I thought that was disrespectful for a black person to be wearing a sombrero to a fucking ring because that's their culture. Why would you do that? If fucking Canelo came to the ring with a fucking kufi and a dashiki on, we would lose our fucking mind, wouldn't we? Well, I would laugh because that'd be funny as hell. But we would have a meltdown. Cal Negro. Right? And he got slept by a Mexican. See that? See how that ends up? Last fight I saw him on Pro Box, another Mexican whooped his ass. You see how that works? And I thought all the way back, and I was reading the comments live after he got stopped. There was some people, don't make fun of him. I know a lot of y'all are black channels making fun of him. This is why we can't have nothing. I'm like, this nigga doesn't know. 2 years ago, all of us there was like 300, 400 people in Fred's chat, and this nigga didn't even bother to tell Fred, y'all got to reschedule. He just didn't show the fuck up. We disrespect each other. We disrespect each other. Anytime you heard me say anything about a fighter, it's because they disrespected themselves and disrespected the sport of boxing. And they've disrespected the community to a degree, the black community. But I'm not even going to put that on niggas anymore because that's who they are. That's just real. That's just real. I'm not putting that on these clowns anymore. I know what I know. When Deontay Wilder had that spat with Radio Raccoon, and he said to this day, and it went viral, AJ made fun of it. He turned right around and wrote in a golf cart for the fucking monkeys. You niggas still want to smile in Ryan Garcia's face, but when he did a fucking song called Blessed and Highly Favored, he had an orangutan in the fucking passenger seat, and he's rapping, and in the comments, some motherfuckers like, yo, I'm glad to see you and Devin made up. That's funny to y'all? you gotta understand, I'm numb to a lot of these niggas. So I know how they move. I'm black first. And a lot of y'all could have been freed if you knew you were slaves. Y'all don't acknowledge that shit. Y'all, oh man, I want another Martin Luther King, I have a dream bullshit speech. Man, fuck you then. Serious side. Serious side. I know it's a black thing. A black thing is how the fuck Bud goes back to his whole goddamn town and gets pulled over by the police after having a goddamn parade in his name. Don't ever in your life tell me what it's not. I know what it is. And a lot of you motherfuckers that were born in the 2000s, y'all are too young and ignorant to even understand what this is because your parents never sat you down and told you what life is about. You don't know. And these fighters, they don't even know because some of them grew up with the athlete spoon in their mouth. You was raised with people rooting for you. You don't know shit else. No one ever sat Zion Williamson down and said, hey man, keep your dick in your pants. You ODing. You what? You just giving your bread away. What's wrong with you? No OGs taught him that? These kids are uneducated. Jared Anderson. Y'all know why I got so upset with him? Y'all don't know why? I can go on and on and on, but I'm not. Because this year, y'all know what it is. Everybody gets that knuckle dragger wake-up call. Everybody gets it. Everybody gets it. We might not even see it, but it'll happen. And I'm saying I'm cool on it. There's only a handful of fighters that I fuck with on that level. Everything else, I'm just watching it just to watch it. When you have a situation and you can't figure it out and Bob Arum acting funky and, you know, the Hearns and Frank Warrens of the world are acting funky and Oscar's running around with a wig and your fighter's not getting what he wants, I'm not going to say, you got to figure that out. I know what it is, but you got to figure it out. It's the Harriet Tubman mentality. Oh, Drew, that don't exist. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I'll deal with the ones that understand. Let me dumb it down for you youngsters. There's something called a Mamba mentality. What's that? What's the Mamba mentality? When you hear it, what is that? What's the Mamba mentality? Somebody tell me in the chat. What is that? Fucking monkeys. If y'all have the Mamba mentality, I can have the Tubman mentality. Thank you. Yeah, it is, Brandon. It's Jordan's mentality rebranded. Kobe, the Black Mamba, right? I'll give him that. And that's how I'm going to keep it. The Tubman mentality. That's right. Y'all motherfuckers play pickup games in the gym. Talk about Mamba mentality. There's no goddamn money on the line. And at any point you could turn your ankle and you'll miss work the next day if you even have a job. You talking about Mamba mentality. You can't afford to miss a day's work. Man, get off that court and take your ass home. So I have a Tubman mentality. I actually care about how black fighters are treated, but if they don't care themselves and they're uneducated, I gotta let them go, man. If these fans don't get it, if I have a fucking topic up here and you come in here talking about something else, that tells me everything I need to know about you. Y'all don't understand why I respect Bill and Dev so much? Forget holding them to a high standard. They are the standard. And you spent 2 decades talking about what you didn't like about Floyd Mayweather, and that's not Devin Haney. Y'all were trying to find people to beat Floyd. Devin's trying to fight everybody that y'all think could beat him. And he's the A side. Now he is. Now, as of right now, he is. And these niggas won't fight him. Boots included. Hey, who wins in the fight between Tank and Devin? Tank. Why won't they fight? Because Dev too big. Well, who wins in the fight? Tank. Why aren't they fighting? Because Dev too big. Well, who wins in the fight? Tank. Why aren't they fighting? Because Dev too big. Huh? You see, I'm not having those conversations anymore. No. All you knuckle draggers could literally die in a car fire. I'm not doing it. I'm not dealing with y'all anymore. I'm really not. I'm blocking you, and we not having it. Not over here. Now, Boots, when you cowboy up and be out loud about it, Oscar, stop fucking around. Me and Virgil about to get this smoke. Get out the way. Fans, are you going to jump up and say, Oscar, stop this? Stop this with this clap back. Or is it about you remaining on code? I don't know if it's the gay code or the Mexican code. I don't know. I'm telling you that Virgil's not on that. This ain't Virgil. He's not on that. He wants Boots. Boots wants him. What's going on? Boots, you're a little too quiet. And the rest of you knuckle draggers, call fire. The general's on. Salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelda Cash App, the Super Chat. Save yourself. Shout out to James, though.
I'm gay. Gay, like super gay. Like one down here, one here, one here, one here gay. I thought you knew that.
Bronx on deck.
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
Nigger, nigger.